Okay, hello everyone. Welcome to this podcast. Apologies for this delay. Some technology difficulties, but beyond our reach. But I'm happy that you miss have continue with him na talk story bloomy. My name is Caleb, and this is Maverick. And we are joined here by the opposition leader, the member of Parliament for Alkilangalanga and the SIDP Parliamentary Wing leader, Mathew Wale, with us for this talk story. Instead, normally before you meet by radio play New Year's talk, and then finish na. So this year by me try something different a little bit. Yeah, Mav? Yeah? Okay. Yeah, we have a talk story. So for today, this talk story but a little bit different a little bit. We're gonna have a deep dive into history and future of politics of Solomon Islands through lens and perspective of opposition leader William. You may say that politics some of a subject where him interconnected and integrated everything you may do him. Side education, side health, how you may manage him natural resources bloomy. Politics and play of a big mighty part. But sometimes I'm a little bit distant too, or a little bit misunderstood, or sometimes people live in home, rural areas, don't have access to information about in politics. So I'm now today. This was a new year. We try to do something new. So you mean let's have a discussion, talk about reality of politics, blue solo. We will let's look back a little bit, the history of politics, and also but looking forward a little bit. So this one have no really political discussion, but it's more than a political discussion. I have a little bit opportunity for you to come together, you let story, discuss, and understand how Yumi as Solomon Island citizens, Yumi play one role or future shaping future Bloomy. But before we go into this one conversation, I have no formal one, informal one naman. Honorable, what na? How na Christmas blue or how na New Year? What you stay Lonyara or you go home or?
Iherer nomolog man boblom bambu ya, vuvuzale ba ya man? This one South Africa ya. Vugo milibit stat kokoros tu ya baka kanseno.
So you look say you no sleep lo night na?
Baru no mono. Vugo daytime ya mo go het mo go night mo. Manay.
True. Yeah man. Okay. Just so as is this for a topic about politics. Of a question no mahana. Hana go you inside politics man. Me herem tayo small ba you rugby or me herem like pasto ba or but hana go you inside politics.
Yeah man. Good question too ya. Misano sem tau siya mo man. Yeah, me young lo village me engaged a little bit with him. The traditional governance law village level. So I me a little bit exposed as a young person to decision making and dynamics of leadership also. And in some ways that was the genesis of my interest in matters leadership and matters governance also.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the first.
Time independence happened ba? You time independence you lo auki o honyara o you lo?
Yeah, lo independence milo home no milo ambu.
Yeah man.
Village lo mina lo ambu lo lang.
Yeah. What was the sense or the feeling you got after you hear him? Oh, by you independence.
Well, before that, I think lo 74 or also me small picnic me will climb coconut.
Yeah.
Lo auki for me will wait time queen go past waiting family blame for me will look good.
Hey.
Lo get so that one big interest blow me will get picnic lo that time.
Yeah.
And of course, the announcement was made even back then that Solomon Island by one day by me independent. Of course, you picnic, meaning it what now independence meaning
yeah.
But on Independence Day, celebrate. On for Duke come here, I think Duke of Gloucester also visit around kasim auki tu ye, so me will go to ye.
Yeah.
Ogat man lo arar come to ye.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. But ogat arare no kabla to full naked wire now. And there was a massive cultural event lo auki. It's a wonderful event really, where every different cultures on show and also. That is distinctly what I remember
True.
of independence. And of course, then the formalities where you got a governor general of our
Yeah.
own and prime minister, first prime minister, and so forth. So
Yes.
those were my
First memories, eh?
memories of independence, Blue
Yeah, man.
1978.
So you grew up in the village. Who na was ota leader you look up to them? Who were the people that you looked up to? Was it the chief or the big man or church leaders or
Yeah, I think mostly church leaders. Ambu, of course, Hemi Sikos.
yeah.
And that time I got all money here. And Sikos leadership law olden days, yeah. I was most things are black and white in the sense
Clear, yeah.
something right now, something wrong, you know, come live or make them right more also.
You know color mo, eh?
You know color them more.
Yeah.
You know say him gray more, no more. You tell him straight no more. One of them straight, you tell him straight now.
Yeah.
And in many ways that has had quite an influence on my outlook
Yes.
of life and more of a problem belum milo palmet now too, I think.
Yeah. True. Yeah, man. Let's maybe come back. So you grew up in the village, then you go school. At which part of stage of life do you decide that but me take na political path?
Yeah, I remember law 1981 elections, and law that time all kita candidates come campaign. That time no ini auke lang langit ya.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah, that time Central Malaita. And Central Malaita before him include him on Java, Malaita Out Island sih.
Yeah.
One for a special constituency that one. And then later we go on their own, and Central Malaita was just basically what is now Aukelanglang and a few Kwarai villages. So what candidates come around and we talk, and I might have been low 81, me forget
Yeah.
how old no me that time. So me asking question no time no campaign.
Yeah.
Low one for a particular candidate, but me no name him, but
Yeah.
I remember asking a question and this for man being very offended that one for picnin asking him a question. So in many ways, interest blow me start early,
Oh.
but really time me kasim suna, me go school suna, or some interest blow me start for become a little bit more clearer that me like for,
Yeah.
to me garam interest law leadership and perhaps politics law national level. Influence bogat mis naritu ya.
Oh yes.
Tu mi usam mi
Yes. Yeah, man.
garam ya.
Yeah, I think para good background story blina you tell him come. I think politicians change from over time. From time you small Kasim this time, how now you look him leadership qualities and politics of country. Him good or him worse. Like me used to go out to the village, one fella old man, time they small boy mas big man finish him say, hey me vi follow enjoy time lo good governance time lo mi fala lo before mi fa bara enjoy what na good governance minim. So teva kan talk about yung good governance lo mi fa already save in. Mi fa already enjoy. Yeah. Not just save kam awareness lo fala. So yeah, so coming back to the question, how ni look yung quality lo political leadership lo country compared to tayo small and this time why you go this time you a politician na, jadi involved lo every process too.
Yeah, I think this for reflection below all man you say, hemi very true. That certainly is my memory of governance below Yumilo Solomon Islands before and after independence. One thing where Yumi must tangyolo colonial government below Yumi before, I mean, people tend to say, oh, Yumi colonized, Yumi also mogat kam boss Yumi around. But one good thing we have to be thankful for was that they gave us a public service that was truly a public service, a service to serve the public. Corruption was unheard of here. The first corruption case me become aware of him was a logging company me bribing minister for taking license for go logging law East Malaita. It was the very first corruption. It was $4,000. Now it bribing. This time everything go a millionaire. Man, okay. Before it, this for corruption, you mean no hair, this time so many impressed lo treasury, lo finance, him unretired. Before One val agol blomi gol persini,
Man.
hem no retire him 6 cents.
6 cents no more.
6 cents,
6
yeah?
cents.
Man.
Hem finish from wakablem, hem gol persin.
This time, man.
This time 6 pence here must 6 million now before man gol persin. So man more than that man no go gol
Man,
persin.
so
no.
bara minim the big difference of type of quality of leadership and governance, because just imagine, yeah, 6 cents no more, yeah? And let me look in this time law media this time, like, yeah, millions same unaccounted for, yeah, different, yeah, articles. So I mean, that's
33 shipments. Huh?
yeah.
Ay, 33 shipments.
Yeah,
ki.
man.
Man bay mi raw mo eh.
Yeah, so I mean, interesting. So, what are you thinking? Him make him for the type of quality of leadership law the past, and this time him different. So, what are the like the motivated cause, and also what are you looking, the attitude that time? Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, it's an evolution. Unfortunately, it's something we have got a creeping effect, and go. You may get swallowed up in it, and some you may acquiesce into it as if may become a new normal, new culture, and also much culture blow man yeah, corrupt man finish no more. This one lie man. Culture blow me no corrupt also me.
Yeah.
Leaders blow me before get no nonsense leaders man. One em straight, or tell him straight now. One em no straight, or tell him two.
yeah,
You cannot go on over him a little bit and then him bow down low. You say, oh,
True.
something is straight no more. No more, I'm wrong now. I think the onset of logging into our country is probably not the only influence, but probably the most decisive influence. And time what loggers come, I would say, oh, how Asians do business here. And you meet nice people, time man giving you something, oh, my friend blue na,
Yeah.
bro, all same. So get abuse him now, that side lo culture blue me. Culture blue me based lo reciprocity. Me good lo you good lo me all same.
Satlo wakatagyo no ma.
That lo wak tagyo na, go everything go wrong all about.
true, man. I mean, not only that, you looking. I mean, law how time was small come, it's law before how teach lo home, different from this time, very strict. Yeah, I think that's the same principle at the apply law workforce that time. Yeah, so looking before this time change, David.
Yeah.
And now that's why this felt term, money colonial money.
Yeah.
Okay, no mean no good lo me. Colonial money meaning money straightforward money.
Black and white no ma.
Black and white. I mean, there are situations where you cannot be black and white, but you will always err on what is right and what is best, what is
Follow
good.
process, do the right thing,
Yeah. And there, I think also maybe perhaps you may confuse him, the sphere of the private. Me as a father, as a grandfather, me as a husband, me as a businessman, me inside family blow me, or me chief lo tribe blow me. And then me confusing with him time me become member of parliament in public sphere.
True one.
And I think the boundaries you may confuse him.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because like adding on, there seems to be a disconnect with politics and people. If you go back to the village, people you ask about politics, they say, give up, give up hope. Yeah? Time for vote na, okay, vote. But after vote, everything, there's no hope. Yeah? Look, this month, go for February, by house view, by full up for ask school fee more, I think. Yeah?
True one.
So this fella disconnect there. What not thinking blue? How should leaders restore this fella disconnection, man? Or in your role, how do you restore this disconnection?
Yeah, a number of I think factors are at play. One, important that leaders are connected to the people, because they really are only representatives of the people. So that connection must never be severed, must never be broken. But then, what now connection here for? You must think around them too, yeah. And so the purposes of that representation, one for a very defining characteristic of that relationship, yeah. What we send our leaders to go and do, are they doing it for us because they're representing us? Of course, then you have CDF. It's what CDF here too. Or them, good, but them no good too. Same time, yeah. Good in that it's a way to respond to immediate needs and development challenges in rural area, but at the same time, because nature blame handled through member of parliament, highly politicized, and
True
therefore
one.
Emi development this fella, some people wait no more for CDF. So lo thinking blomi this fella CDF Emi represent him a big chunk of this disconnect.
Yes.
At the human level, sometimes Emi putum, I struggle with this also as an individual, but also as a Christian, that sometimes as a politician, my default position is to see somebody merely as a voter or a non-voter, no longer a human being. And so me devalue that human being to just being somebody who will cast a vote. And so calculations of how I deal with them and based on that. And it's a terrible way to be a leader, terrible way to be a human being. And it's certainly not something where be good for country blaming. So I think leaders have a continual challenge to remain authentic in the way or decide log at something. I'm no easy something.
Yes, because what the CDF was enacted, or
Well, that's another long history.
Yeah, man.
Hem start mamloni bring him in osem sikops out kolem.
oh yeah,
Yeah. Oketa grants were golo area councils first time.
yeah,
And then ogata assume him under law members of parliament.
But time him no increase at him just small amount
small,
naman.
small,
Okay.
yeah. Start I think 20,000 or so.
Okay.
Then him go up. Go. In recent years now, him borrow in the millions now. Him borrow go up for good. It's born out of frustration that the machinery of government, public service, him no sabe deliver law rural areas.
yes,
Reach block government into villages and be very limited. And so I think in the best way, the most efficient, quickest way to reach down is through members of parliament. And it's true too. There is truth in that.
yeah, man.
But, in all of these things, there are pros and cons, advantages, disadvantages, and costs.
Yeah, man.
And so you may know about it, but there's not really been an honest debate around that aspect.
Before you move on to the next question, for those watching live, there'll also be a time where Otasa will ask them questions for the comments where you can go through. So just letting the audience know if they want to ask a question, then just put him a question, and we'll go through the questions later on throughout this talk story. So coming back to our talk story, so you're talking about the CDF Act, or the Constitution funds. How na gogo if leader have misusing funds or he's not displaying good governance now. What do you say about we as citizens, the country? How can we ensure that there's good governance, man? Or if we, choosing leader, but leader have not doing straight something. What is something, or what can we do as citizens to ensure that there's good governance? Or some time before, but time before, but no corruption, but. So what now you need for doing, man?
This one important, Thomas. And before I come to that,
Yeah.
maybe just a reflection on the corruption. Someone was saying to me, one fellow prominent citizen below you, my old man now, I'm saying, man, you me so corrupt that by me corrupt all way na man. I'm saying, the young people below me come up, what lanem one man we corrupt needs to do more things they way for doing nice, what go at awesome too. And of course, there is some truth in that too, of course. But I think my reflection is there was a time when we were 100% free from corruption. We can be there again. And of course, it takes commitment and will at various levels, not just political, but right throughout the civil service and throughout the churches and NGOs, civil society sector, in our communities, Selen law, tribe law, logging or law mining or law water or whatever resource, tribal leaders deal straight and transparent to them. We can go back to that wonderful, glorious past where we were not ruled, we were not under the reign of corruption. This time I was saying reigning country blue me on most levels. So we can go back there again. In terms of citizens' duties, I think that's the best way to put it, is that all citizens have a duty. Duty for what? A duty of care. You must care. This one bar of important. You must care about what happens in the country. You must care about what happens in the province. You must care about what happens lo constituency and lo ward blue. You must care what happens in your tribe. If you don't care, some no care attitude na. You will go ahead no, you will spoil them go now. Can't to talk blame yeah. Yeah. Time you miss that for all them now, what something go wrong and then I'm hard and over time it gets worse and worse and worse and it's normalized as normal behavior. So citizens must exercise a duty of care, not just lo CDF, but lo every something now,
True.
including decisions where hem non-monetary, hem no got any selling attached lo.
True one.
Every citizen must care. This fella, osem, me leave him go no me vote, but no anything no me tight. This fella attitude, I mean, no much good for you, for
True.
country. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're good point. I mean, you must care. I mean, you must also willing for listen to media. Yeah, willing for update lot. Print media, read him news story, asking the right question. Yeah, I think one for lot of challenges when looking this. I know people also try to ask question. Yeah, so I mean, people try to question him what not wrong, what not right. So then I make him you me everyone let's say imi no longer connect to lot political leaders blame me. Yeah, because I mean sometimes by me say yeah I'm alright now I'm alright but then behind imi complain behind yeah. Like me share earlier to do it me ba like me go around lot of village blame me lo after rural side. One thing too is imi citizen imi sometimes imi lazy too for stay informed. Like for example, of a village mi golem, baras taka Bluetooth speaker, then radio, FM and AM radio. Yeah. I mean, Bluetooth speaker hem stakalo village. What na be here man? I mean, it's true. Immediate time for entertainment, relax. But then things like radio and newspaper hem really make me stay informed there. And when time election come, by misa make an informed decision. When time any consultation below government policy yung kanang law ground, by misa make him informed decision. But at the same time, me believe that government also got a bigger role too for playing that one. Yeah, I like make sure make him other things like telecommunication, radio, him catch a lot of place because sometimes the challenges too is other services too nakasim people. Yeah, and Hana by me empowering people, time what services nakasim people. Yeah, so I think this is one of the challenges when we looking low rural areas too, yeah? I mean, in people even disconnect too from information. Yeah.
Yeah, this one very important. Democracy is power in the people, and that people must be informed adequately to exercise that power with wisdom and discretion, discernment, and also may exercising wisdom. This one very important. And where that power him lie now in the people now, Ogatna must demand him good leadership, better leadership, good governance, better governance, right governance. If there is no demand for good leadership, there is no demand for good governance from Mogata people, then him government blame me highly vulnerable. That we will elect leaders for representative who are really not leaders at all, and cannot or are unable to, or perhaps unwilling to fulfill the roles where a good governance leadership could fulfill. So all of these things are connected. We deserve the leaders we get. That's the basic principle. And so time people complain, maniam go, but bakablem no mas good. Well, him come out of a process of elections. So
True one.
people must be informed, must be engaged, and must work together, which includes compromise to make sure they get the kind of representation quality of it like him.
Yeah.
Like would that be your definition of politics? Because so like my question would be, man, sometimes but we think that politics block the MP no man, and that's it
True.
now. You mean the people what we don't deal with politics, but do you think politics is for everyone, not just for the member of parliament?
Yeah, because politics is the art of compromise, and politics is dealing with public good.
Yes.
what not common good blow everyone.
Yeah.
And everyone cannot bow down to one man no more. That would be a dictatorship.
Yes.
And so therefore, everyone cannot have their own individual wishes too.
Yes.
They have to all come together and find consensus and compromise. So good leadership is saying, okay, where do we find compromise but still get best outcome?
Yeah.
You mean no compromise, then worst outcome.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm also me, because you mean local sebelum you mean respecting each other. Because you mean respecting each other, but you find them lot school boards, even or at village committees or at something also, but you find them man where everyone complains, spoil them selling lo school lo, spoil them selling lo shoes, but him no by go chairman,
Yeah.
him no by go treasurer, was him no sa totok itu mas then everyone, yeah, time. Okay, who now nominate him go, then man, hey, leave him go no. Man is still, but leave him go no more. So you mean respect no more. You mean no like, hey, no in the sense of citizenship, citizen obligation to say, hey, accountability below one you know fit here also.
Because it's a public good, yeah?
And so you may find them, our compromise is really not a compromise. You may acquiesce into what we know is not good.
So in all of this, I mean, what do you think CSO survey play aside from individual people? What do you looking role plus CSO law? These kind of issues like sometimes CSO say, "Oh, we don't involve in politics. This is our policy." But then, I mean, how do you looking CSO should like actively engage in that space? Yeah, what are their roles?
Yeah, CSO were a critical interface now. This one, because CSO fill this middle interface between governance through democratic process and the people. And so informing people, helping people to see clearly and are important. And that's a role where CSOs are best placed to lead and to engage Lohem. And to say, oh, me val no involve lo politics, that false statement, one val also a misunderstood statement a little bit. In one sense, yes, but in a small sense. In the sense where you no go pick him, or you vote him Jake, you less lo Tom, because Tom have problem, di kan hari, mi val raw with him oketa. Okay, you involve lo politik na ya. But if you're going to say you need him a good government can only be formed with good leaders. Good leaders where got him strong base of values also, and Savilo get something where fit for Savilo that for level. That's not politics. That's equipping citizens to be better at their obligation, their duty of care. So him politic too here, but him good politic everyone must
Empowerment,
know. Empowerment. And you expert lo this one, ma'am. Hear him report about you go around lo provinces. Hey, me happy too much this one.
Okay,
you and Philip and others,
Nice. So let's move on. So the other aspect of this talk story is to look forward on politics, the future of politics in the Solomon Islands. So you sabe stang, as staka young man come, but was as you store him today, daddy corrupt, beginning corrupt too, yeah. And we don't want that to happen. Yeah? We can achieve 100% corrupt-free country. Bitingin kami school USP several friends lumi ota take politics from a subject there, take politics and come back, but I think no ni waka. But I guess my question is like, what is your advice to young people, who want to be a leader, man? Like what would you say to them, those who are studying politics right now, I guess? What is your advice to them? How can they be successful and to make the politics for country to be better and to be good, that we have that to ensure that we have good governance, man?
Well, I think the first thing is you must think lo you say level. Why now you would be interested in leadership at any level, whether hem lo parliament or lo province or lo community, church. Why are you interested? You need to think about your motivations for going. You go because you want for proud man, you like everyone look high on you, or you go because you like hey, money school good, or money look nice bola, or you go because you like him selling lo CDF or ward grant or what no motivation blow you for going. And if those are your motivations, usemi sorelo country
True,
at whatever
yeah.
level, that has been our problem in leadership. There is just too many leaders in positions where they should not be because motivation blogged is or like Holem Selen or CDF or Ward Grant or whatever. And so him spoil them those levels of leadership. But I come to the old sense of leadership, meaning of leadership, purpose of leadership. And that is you go out to serve the public. And one who is serving the public, by look savitu, yeah.
Yes.
They're not in it for themselves or to enrich themselves or get relatives or friends or something. No more. They really are out to serve the common good, where I'm good for everybody. And so if you barat below him or you friend below him and you go to him, you like a one for exemption or like a one for license or also but time him weigh him the common good, by him no good for give him lo you, by him no give him lo you na eh.
Yeah.
That's the kind of
Yes.
leadership where you may need him, is to serve the common good. And so for the young people, I think I'm good for reflect on that one. Good something here. Bible him say time man him like for leader of church, level of church na.
Yeah.
Hey, good something here.
Yeah.
And I would say the same to our young people. You like for leader of province or of parliament or of government. Good something here. But search your heart. Seek advice from pastor or catechist or priest or bishop if you have access. And your wife or girlfriend or boyfriend or husband.
Maverick.
Yeah. And maybe a wider cross section of more experienced people to really question your motivation. Why now you like for go in at that level of leadership?
And what do you think you save him in him lo Solomon Island? Yeah. I mean, it's a big word, but in simple words, what do you think him for young people save him if anyone aspires to become a leader?
Yeah, well, I suppose the defining characteristic law serve now is he must not be for your own good. Serve is always focused on the other. It's outward looking. And so if your leadership hemi truly by serve, by hersawi lo tok blue and waka blue, yeah, that you're talking about the common good. And common good blow everyone. But him no any individual in particular. If once him individual more, no more hemi extension of yourself no more now 2 years. So service is always outward looking.
And moving on, I think what do you think young people should do for preparing for the political stress and responsibilities? Because before listen to parliament, our members say go chicken, I'm not testing chicken na. Yeah. So I mean if stress too much na. Yeah. So what do you think we need for government in prepare for handling stress and pressure, both in political, leader also in the public service as well.
I think hemi important for young people to see that you have more ownership of the future of Solomon Islands. Me, by this year, by me 57, God willing, maybe another 15 year or 20 year, me go heaven na.
Amen.
Amen. But you will still got another 40, 50 years to go here. So you have greater stake in what happens in this country, and therefore you must be engaged. You know, back off, become indifferent, lose interest. No more, you must engaged. And when things get tough, that's when you must become even more engaged in holding leaders, government to account, and bar of important to us. Because if you don't, then you make a more man for spoil them country blame me now, just run free no more. The other is you young people need to also see clear boundaries. Life blow you as an individual, and also you Mav, you got a baby now, 4 months old, you got a responsibility lo house,
Yeah.
You responsibility lo missus, you responsibility lo baby,
Big responsibility.
a big one to us,
Yeah, man.
And so, allow engagement blow you lo the public sphere, hemi interfere with him responsibilities blow you inside law, family blow you. If no more by stress blow outside there, you take him go inside more,
Hey, Ivan.
by different trouble mo eh.
True
So
one.
I see a lot of I see a lot of hope. I have confidence in your generation of leaders coming through. That you see what happen Kasim this time, you're fed up with it. You are angry. But it's good anger. You could almost say righteous anger, but apart from Jesus, no, not a human being have got righteous anger. But you do need that righteous anger. Time mercy him no stop lo clinic or hospital. You must be angry. If we're not angry, bang always same no mo eh.
Leave him go no.
Yeah, leave him go.
Kan attitude no good
Eh,
to mas.
We must cross, but cross so I can change, eh?
Yeah. You must use him that anger for good, to change, to do the things that you may complain them to improve. So that gives me hope. Hope that more and more young people are
No man.
getting angry. You know, angry then go Bonham Chinatown. Angry to be engaged, to demand better.
To have informed decisions.
Correct.
They are aware for making impact, rather than
Yes.
spoil them with infrastructure, believe me.
Man, but me curious a little bit, man. Who na some fella leaders you look up them time you go grow up come? Who are some influential people you look up them were teaching you or learning you know, becoming a leader? Who are some of those people?
Yeah, Lo Home, obviously as a
Home,
beginning, reference point Lo Lo Village.
Yeah.
Or Chiefs Lo Village.
Chiefs, yeah.
Yeah. I'm got a big influence Lo me. And of course also Lo Church. Grandfather Lo me, I'm pastor for many, I think 30 years or something also. And sometimes me go lie sleep Lo bed blame. Time I'm doing one for case now, I'm doing one for counseling Lo one for man too, I'm come Lo, but I'm not telling them blame because Emi manem kam lohem na emi say I'm like for losing Mrs. Blohem.
See.
I'm story finished then pastor grandfather Blohem. Me lay down lo bed. Time manis to story me ting Blohem also na you die today na. So all money man black and white man no mo.
Talam straight no man.
Straightforward no man. And to finish no mo all man tell him you tell me now. What kind of woman different woman you kakavete me. So
Tell it as it is no man.
you tell him straight no man. You know lie all about you be blaming Mrs. Blue or something. Something you kakavet no mo lahat blue hide.
True.
So you know those kinds of influences also have me got an impact on me.
Yeah. So I guess you education really but start from home, man. Yeah? The family, yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah,
I think
for
this
sure.
one too something where you must encourage him.
Yeah.
Education blow me law, culture blow me and start inside home.
Yes. The first school is the home, eh? The family, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, interesting. Listen, law, your values and principles that you grow up. Me just like say, how do you apply law decision making, especially law, law politics here.
Yeah. Well, firstly, of course, Hemi, important to always be thinking about that. As a Christian, of course, you have the fear of God too, that you're not just being here today making decisions for today, but that what you decide today, you will be held accountable for also in the end. So I'm not just being held accountable of law or parliament or you go to person or get something else, but God will hold you accountable in the end. So having that fear, I think, can be healthy, but healthy for good for you. Me. But also, you me out human being no more.
Oh yes.
Also, me va loget kwak sa say pastor why go. So sometimes come no go to pastor forget in Bible too. So it's useful to have close friends that you can share with, and also
Yeah, man.
me no minister for much long. First term me come lo by election, me minister of education. One time me go acting finance minister in seeking go to Australia. And also one for example, and there were a number of applications for exemptions. This was back in 2000 and early 2010. Me acting minister of finance. And one of those applications, him blow one for Uncle blow me. Of course, Uncle never ringing me, never doing so, and there was nothing wrong on his side.
Yeah.
But obviously, I had an interest in it because him Uncle blow me like him for take him.
Yeah.
So the right thing to do was not to be involved in that decision. So I decided not to be involved. But to help me in that, I was very tempted to just sign it off and give it to him. But who not check here?
Yeah.
Caretaker government now that
You
time.
know, you know, grand power.
You know, me got empowered, so I give him no money. But in the end, meeting Lord Daddy blew him.
See.
Because baru good friend belum itu mas, pastor belum this time. But that time I'm no pastor yet. And also him accountability mate belum where if me do him something here, and him asking me about what now, I me tell him him just at the human level. Even if say you forget him now, fear blow God. You do need to have friends that you have the confidence to say, what would he say?
Yeah.
Yeah. And once me start to say, oh, by me explain, me just no, maybe I am wrong. So that really helped me in that situation to make a decision that I'm clear no more, I'm straight one, I'm clear no more. But if you're tempted, it's good to have somebody you can.
So, you know, one of the factors of being a good government in good governance is accountability. Yeah, yeah, man. Thank you. We're gonna before we go to the last question. Do we have any questions from the comment sections?
I think we just like ask you one follow-up question before we take a question about audience. Yeah, I think really good. You mentioned him that you have to seek advice. I think not is follow point. I think it's really important for young people got a mentor. Yeah? I mean, in life, you got a mentor like mentor by him guide me lo any advice, any challenges, and what do you think all that one for the young people need for? I mean, to say that one.
Yes, and mentorship, of course, stuck a sort of formal offering or formal program start for come up, those who can mentor and also. But mentorship largely, informal. Daddy mentor him pequenininha, just by nature. You must remember this one, Mal.
Yeah,
Time baby ka come up, you talk about custom lohem, why you may believe in what values here. You
True
talk
one.
about faith play lohem. That's your mentoring na eh? And that extends to leadership also. Leadership in our own private spheres, but also in other spheres that you may engage them. And him good something for young people themselves to do also in our villages below you me.
yeah,
And to be a mentor, of course, you yourself need to be equipped. And the biggest equipment is character.
yes.
Being equipped with good character, good judgment, and then, of course, on top of that, if you keep informed abreast of happenings, and also it brings it to a well-rounded mentorship.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Thank you. So we have a few questions here that's given to us. So we'll go through these questions. The first question is from Philip Subu. Big shout out to
Hey,
brother.
main man bro,
Hey.
go around here, eh?
Men man yan, so his question is how much of culture and the environment have not shaping leaders of the past to be honest people? How much that this culture or environment blood the leaders before ya hana go that one shaping for to be honest people, man. How you think it's a big part of it or just a little part of it, Numa, or
Emmy one for a big part to him.
yeah, man.
Of course, in our earlier days, culture him stronger
Yeah.
and respect him stronger for authority,
Yes.
traditional systems below you me.
Yeah.
And so him easy for spot him leadership too.
Yeah.
And also him easy for spot him fraudsters too.
Yes.
Conman by me looks away now.
Easy to masuk sa
Yeah. So the premise of his question him true, yes.
Culture plays a big part
Yes.
in producing honest people. Yeah, man. Okay. So next question is from Ferrer Osifelo. It's question blame Osia.
Before you ask him question here,
Yeah.
Philip Subuyemi, I hope by premier lomalite, but
Yes.
but maybe next round.
Yeah, next round na.
After him go around with good governance, he must go practical now.
I think I need for married first time.
Mathew must help him problem.
I'm not story. Okay. So Ferrer Osifelo asked, should the job of an MP have an eligibility criteria like other public service jobs? Or anyone almost have MP? Man, physics classic, some MP2 or how? Or should there be some sort of criteria, man? What I think you?
In some jurisdictions, so got put criteria.
Yeah.
I know, for instance, in Indonesia, you have to have, I think, a degree or something else. And other jurisdictions impose similar criteria. But I see it as a reactionary kind of move to say, oh, you mean bara no good to mas, no, you mean must put all same. So on one hand, yeah, we do need, we look at the quality of leadership, look at national level, and you may say, hey, no more, you mean must set them bar high a little bit.
Yes.
So that's true.
But
But a more fundamental issue, perhaps, or question is that leader, him representing people, Bohemia, you have to trust the judgment of the people.
yes.
And so you can put a bar for the jump, high jump,
Yeah.
in the Constitution, for example. But it's better to go and put that bar in the minds and hearts of the people,
Yes.
so that Ogat now make sure that leadership,
Yes.
they can below this bar. He must always high. Ogat look high to Muslim. And some constituencies also me.
Because no matter sa man school good masters, but lewat no good one
Ay.
to eh.
Once you got a highly educated man, but him crook, you just have a highly educated crook.
Yeah.
So education in itself
Yeah.
is not a decisive factor for good leadership. Same or same literacy or illiteracy or lack of education in itself is a factor for bad leadership.
Yeah, man. Bro, thanks. Okay, so ini done for time. So, ini the last two question mo. So questionnya from no mas sorry, by me great no. So the next question is from World Waves Solomon. So question beliau mo siya, how do you view the role of foreign aid in Solomon Islands development, and what changes, if any, or how would you make aid negotiated and utilized? May repeat yung question mo ya. Sam say, what na view beliau lo role of foreign aid? Because you sabi mi dependent aid to mas ya. So in terms of Solomon Islands development, and if there are changes or any changes, how do you make sure aid have negotiated correctly and utilized effectively and efficiently? What na view your role?
Firstly, it's important to note that last time Taiwan and this time China more.
Yeah.
The fact that Ogata engaged in giving Selen for members of parliament for constituencies, this one am outright wrong. Him meaning politics blaming him always vulnerable, subject to foreign influences.
Yeah, man.
So that must go out.
Yeah.
No foreign power, no foreign government should ever give him Selen where hemi handled by members of parliament or elected officials, such that he might compromise in our decision-making law leadership.
Yes.
This one him bar critical. So when we are negotiating bilateral agreements for funding and or something also, you must make sure that him no compromise in sovereignty,
Yes.
sovereign decision-making. Secondly, you will note law 2025 budget, time him come law parliament, it has a $1.3 billion deficit. In other words, government no garam selene.
1.3 billion.
Yeah, so it must find them, must count them or ask him donors for him. But an equivalent 1.3 billion donors ogata give him come, but him outside low budget. Not call them non-appropriated funds.
So sila no de ano man.
Selling there, but donors are doing their own things outside of government machinery and processes and systems. This one him no good to you. This one him undermine him government blame you.
Yes.
If you want to partner with us because you believe in the policies what government like for doing, do it within our systems. Build our capacity. We need institutional capacity so that I'm sustainable into the long term.
Yeah, man.
So that must change.
No dream outside of
Not
government.
doing outside.
Yeah.
So even World Bank, ADB, or IMF, or what they do you want something outside? Yeah. But what kind of good governance now you were like for promoting?
Yes.
Then you will come and walk outside more. Yeah.
True, man.
And we grant, or what less because corruption in my. Yeah, well, let's fight it, let's fix it, but fix it within,
Yes.
because that makes it sustainable. So that I think is an important factor in those negotiations.
Yeah, man.
But again, I come to the very basic question: what does it take to move this country forward? Then you may focus on. You may not spread them resources too thinly. And I would have to say, Lomi, tuval something no more. Education and health.
Yeah.
We have to invest 3 times more in education than what we're doing now.
Yeah.
All Solomon Islander children must be the most educated in the whole Pacific Islands region. They must be the most skilled in the whole Pacific Islands region. That's an ambition.
Yeah. And we can do it. No?
That's why we need free education, eh?
You must do. There must free education.
Yeah.
And the second, of course, is health.
Yeah.
You know, to turn up to a clinic and no any Panadol, man, it's beyond a joke.
Yeah.
Beyond a joke. It's a terrible thing.
True.
So Yumi must fix him health care system.
Two main things: education and health. Yeah, true. So another question is from Junior Kurt. Say, why are our laws today twisted and unfair? I think question come out from righteous anger. I think. So I'm saying, why are our laws today twisted and unfair compared to the past days, as you may describe? Right?
I think
Corruption, no, I think, or
yeah. Me forget them which president of America, but maybe me John Jay or someone else him, where him say laws are made for a moral people. Time you make them law, you make them for people whereby I would like for subject to that law and follow law.
yeah,
So that where there are silences in the law and not talk about something here. But I'm all right, no, because people say, oh yeah, I'm silent, but no, me not do it. The spirit of the law, I'm stop him here. You mean no more, this time modern culture blue me, a little bit different. Where there are silences, you take advantage of them, you exploit it.
yeah,
Where there are in the law even clear no more, but you beberek no more. You bend it.
yeah,
And so it's almost as if we need to make laws for an immoral people, you know, for a people who are bent on breaking the law. When we're making law, we need to think, how now by lawyer catch him man if I'm doing something also. And that too is a responsibility of leadership.
yeah,
So for example, Wakablomi Law Bills and Legislation Committee,
yeah,
when bills are proposed by government and not to come, I'm always thinking like that. I'm thinking, okay, what now policy goals you will try to achieve him?
yeah,
Wording you will use him if I'm achieve him or no more? Does it leave gaps or silences that will be exploited? And is that good for society or not? What kind of question of him? You must think him all well. And if you ban him, by you ban him go him break it, or you ban him by him go around him, kind of you must think him. Responsibility blow you me everyone.
Yeah, thanks. And one follow-up question left from Thompson Junior Rikimani. Question I say, how do you plan to ensure that voices of young people are heard and considered in policy consideration that directly affect their future?
Well, first, young people must organize, and the work that you are doing for Goran and Barav important part of that one. Information is very, very important. When young people are informed, then they can be energized and animated to engage. Second is always watch out, but miss our web page blog, Facebook page blog, Parliament, I'm a little bit out of date, man. I'm good now?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm repair finish. You all must engage, especially when the supplementary budgets or budgets come before the House. You always watch and engage, write letters. When bills come to the Parliament and Bills Committee, BIM usually put them up low page and ask for written submissions. We never get, we do get written submissions, but maybe one or two, but never from young people. And law hemi made to effect policy. And so when you read the law, you think, what are they trying to do? Hey, me agree or no agree? Then you engage, you write. Write come law bills and legislation committee, write to your member of parliament, write to ministers. There are so many opportunities to engage. You know, wait until someone say, oh, tape me lo shoulder, was where you like come sit down, allowance lo there, lunch. No, you know, wait for that one. You take the initiative and be proactive and engage.
Just a follow-up question.
The other is standing orders of parliament, hemi allow petitions.
From
the public.
And
so young people, if you care about a matter so much, you can get a petition signed, deliver it to a member of parliament to sponsor it. He will or she will then announce it on the floor and also. So there's a process also.
Yeah, so I think just before you go another question, I think we just like raise off a point clear. Petition it's interesting one, but me looking especially UK Parliament, in order for to make them like young people engage, so the garem you fill up online petition la website lo parliament lo there. So I think there was something where if parliament need for think about it for exploring there because consider the geographical settings of Solomon and also 2025 technology. I think those are the things that you need for that exploring too. Like
Yeah, that's brilliant.
parliament mas garang mawala page where for petition and kasi certain number then also discuss him yeah.
And good idea. Yeah, but must suggest him lot to look lang.
Yeah. Okay, question from Alwin. Him say, lobbying after general election has shaped a great deal of our political system. What is your opinion on it and how can we find a way forward?
Yeah, this one for a critical issue for Yumi. Hemi plague him leadership Yumi. That's why Yumi always end up with him bad compromises. As you know, over many years, logging now Hemi control him government and prime ministers and also, and now mining Hemi take over. Selen Hemi become a big determining factor in how Yumi elect him prime minister and form him government. So he must change. Yeah. But for changing, ogat man for changing now, lo parliament and ogat man now still kekilohan, ogat man gigive seleni yet. So change may not be as easy as we would like. And really the best change is to put the power straight, go back to hand of people. Elect him prime minister direct. Also no more. Not leave him no parliament. Or you can have another version of it. You elect him candidate below party and leader below that party where highest number of seats becomes the prime minister. That too, another version no more. But if people elect him straight prime minister, come no any lobbying now. For forming cabinet no more by me negotiate.
Okay. Just last final question, first one, ma'am. Before we close, as you may enter a new year, 2025, and new year, what na vision do you for this year? What na future politics do you what are the opportunities? What was in your own words, maybe in a sentence, what is your vision for politics for you for this year?
And if we say, I don't care, consider that we have the highest number of unemployment, youth unemployment increase. Consider that you may got like service system down, both education, health, and other challenges. Yeah.
Well, I'll reduce it to 2 words
Yes, 2
since you
words,
asked for one sentence. Is to give hope. I hope that this year, 2025, that all leaders rise to the challenge to give hope.
Nice. Thank you so much, Honorable and Opposition Leader.
Sorry. Before you finish, may like the opportunity if you talk about in political party blue, SIDP, and how na young people sa join him, or anyone like join sa join him.
Yes, thank you, Mav. Bara good na you ask. Hemi one for look at interfaces engagement of policy. As you know, policy hemi formulated, processed within parties. Then parties propose him time in government or in parliament, and then eventually it makes it to law and also. So youth can become an important part or influence him development of country below Yumi by being engaged in political parties. And of course, inside Long Solomon Island Democratic Party, we welcome this kind of engagement. Also, first time, the future is yours for young people. So you must have greater say in carving out, crafting that for the future. There are application forms that are available. Send us, a note wherever you are in the country. Facebook, we have a Facebook page. I'm not thinking me live this time.
Yeah, page
Engage on that page. Ask questions. Even time you mean no podcast or parliament no sit. You feel free to post a question. And Mav or Caleb or Joel or Kim here will be able to put an answer on it or get to me. If you want to get to me directly, you can get to me through that page also. And if you want more discrete email and also we can give you email addresses and phone contacts too.
Okay. Thank you, Thomas, Honorable. Thank you, Ross Miles.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward for some more talk story.
True. Yeah.
You must always.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.